Hi everybody, I'm Isaac and this is my editor Angus. Say hi to the people, Angus. We work for ScreenRant, but we were recently demoted for accidentally deleting the entire archive of Captain America thumbnails. Anyway, we've been put in charge of the Comment Response Division. It sounds cool, but it's really not. We're actually just checking out your answers to the question, which animated movie should never get a live-action reboot? Alright, let's just jump into it. Cute emoji person says, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, do I really need to say why? Yes, you do. Kobe Taylor says, the VeggieTales movie should never be made into live action. And Kobe has a point, but tell us, aren't you a little bit curious? Danny DeVito as Bob the Tomato, Dwayne The Rock Johnson as Larry the Cucumber. Show us someone who doesn't want to see that, and we'll show you a liar. Katestatt says, all of them, just at all film studios who ever made an animated film, do not make it into a live action because you will ruin it. Stay away from beloved film classic animated masterpieces, okay? Especially you, Disney, at Disney. Woo! Disney, you've just been added by Katestatt. Are you gonna take that? That's a Katestatt at. Aren't you gonna at the stat? Last Airbender. This last one, Mark Dillon says, I think there's already a live-action Last Airbender, but I'm not sure. Well, Mark, legend speaks of a live-action film. But sadly, there's no way of finding out for sure.
I don't actually think M. Night Shyamalan has ever even seen this show.
Did any of you guys like the movie?
No!
Steve Forrester says, Watership Down. What? The bunny movie? Why wouldn't you want to see that?
Field. It's covered with blood.
Oh dear God. Benjamin Sindler says, Toy Story. Like, if you've got a friend in me. We were gonna make fun of Benjamin, but he has 64 friends, which is 63 more than both of us. My only friend is Angus. The only official overnight studio says, guys, no one should ever make a live-action Thomas the Tank Engine movie. No one. Thomas the Tank Engine started out as a live-action train thing. There was just model trains. So I think that counts as live action. Hoyzilla says, the land before time was a gem. No amount of live action recreation can add to its popularity. And while we like the land before time, we think a remake could add to its popularity a little. We checked and it was only the 29th most popular movie of 1988. It made less money than Twins. Which makes us think that a live action remake where Arnold plays Littlefoot's brother could be a big hit. James Ward says The Hunchback of Notre Dame. And we have bad news, James. A remake starring horror superstar Lon Chaney is planned. What's that? That movie came out in 1923? And? 1923 was almost 100 years ago? So what if I didn't know that? Doge says Coraline, the Flintstones. Yes, I know that was already made, but it was awful. Fine, but we think you have to back up your Flintstone slander. What about that do you not like? It's comedy gold. SpongeBob, imagine the holes in his face, SpongeBob. We got a lot of SpongeBob responses, and we are inclined to agree. Under no circumstances should SpongeBob star in a live-action movie where he has to fight Antonio Banderas in the third dimension. That would be terrible. That Golden Minecrafter says, if we don't want another first Sonic, I reckon we play it safe for a bit. And we don't won't, so I reckon we'll play it safe for a bit as well.
Meow.
Red Riptide says Simpsons starring Adam Sandler as Homer and Katy Perry as Marge. It doesn't matter if they don't fit the characters. They're celebrities. We know you're being sarcastic, Red, but we think that sounds like fun. Let's throw in Kevin Hart as Bart and Kendall Jenner as Lisa, and we'll just get this thing greenlit. It doesn't matter if it's literally the worst person on Earth to play one of the Simpsons. Unless, of course... Shrek. It's tempting to try and imagine a live-action Shrek, but oh no. No. What have you done? Ben Alley says Ren and Stimpy live action would be the scariest or just funny in a way. And the question was about cartoons that shouldn't be adapted, but it sounds like you've convinced yourself. And we're convinced too, as long as it's funny in a way.
We're freak material!
Worst Gamer says, Peppa Pig! Damn, that stuff is scary. I still have nightmares. No judgment, YG, but you do have us wondering, how old were you when the nightmares started? Very interesting. And how old are you right now? Miles Skywalker says, sausage party, shivers. You know what? Fair enough, Miles. That would just be a hot dog. Can you imagine Sexret Life of Pets live action? And I gotta tell you one thing, as soon as I imagine a Sexret Life of Pets live action, I laugh until I cry. Amanda Shepard says, what about Mars Needs Moms live action? Well, Amanda, we've received thousands of comments and we haven't read them all yet, but we're willing to bet money that no one else said Mars Needs Moms. And you know what? We respect that. Bring on the remake. Nemo Baba says, imagine an R-rated Phineas and Ferb standalone mystery horror thriller film, edit, and maybe a little comedy. Sounds good to us, Mimo, as long as you allow a little comedy. Wow, the guy who said this comment has a real chaotic energy. Whatever the next Disney movie is being made next. Anyone who said this would have to be seriously twisted.
You can call me
the work of Joker. This commenter, Rose Marshall, brought up The Owl House, which is a new Disney show about a teenager training to become a witch. One of the reoccurring characters is the Bat Queen, who is basically a woman's head with tiny bat wings and claws. That actually sounds terrifying. Onwards to Defeat says the I'm Blue music video. Well, I wouldn't worry too hard about that happening. Aiden Frainmuth says, the Lego movie. Just imagine how terrible that would be. Mr. Frainmuth, we don't have to imagine. We can just watch the Playmobil movie. Yoran Gay says, live action flushed away should be fluffed away from my TV. Ayo! Palesu says, oh boy, I'd love to watch Finding Nemo live action. We've got great news for you. You can watch Finding Nemo live action by just going outside. Maybe stay inside for now, though, just given everything that's happening. Maya Hatimi says, also, maybe Brian from Family Guy. Imagine a fat dog. Also, maybe Brian from Family Guy. Imagine a fat dog as tall talking. I'll give you this, Maya. We can't imagine it, and we are not quite sure what you're talking about, but we would love to see what that looks like.
Stewie, I am fat dog as tall talking.
The Expo Explorer says, cars, for the love of God and everything that is holy, don't. Again, guys, you can literally just look out your window. Cars are real. We got a couple Courage comments, and we have to say they are completely correct. Each episode had a villain who terrorized Courage the dog, while his owners did nothing to help him. One episode about a man named Freaky Fred, who is obsessed with trying to shave Courage, is one of the creepiest things we have ever seen. Who allowed a horror-themed children's cartoon to happen? Who was in charge over there? Pennywise?
naughty.
Whoever wrote this next comment must really love animation. Some sort of toon geek or a drawing dweeb. DB Frog says B-movie. Definitely the B-movie. I would rather die than see live action of it. And there comes a time in everyone's life when they must choose life or the B-movie.
You like jazz?
Star Streamer says, does anybody remember Bob's Burgers? Does anybody remember this show? Was it on 20, 30 years ago? Went by the name of Bob's Burgers? I don't know. Gaming with Alex says they should give Carl Weezer a live-action movie. The kid from Jimmy Neutron. He never had one. You know who never got his own movie? Little Carl Weezer from down the block. Sure, he's not a classic Hollywood type, but the kid has something. Hello Yellow says, Howl's Moving Castle. I would never be satisfied with the actor who would play Howl. It's actually funny how in Japan animation is routinely made for adults, and there's less demand to legitimize an animated story by doing it in a realistic live-action way. Animated movies and television are actually respected as a means of artistic expression. Listen to me going on and on. Who wrote this script anyway, cartoon nerd? Well, that's all the time we have for the video. If you liked it, if you loved it, if you hated it, please leave a comment. Let us know what you think. We are contractually obliged to read them all. And don't forget to subscribe to ScreenRant. All right, that's it. All right, Angus, edit in something nice for yourself.
Oingabonga.